Commander Vexathol stood at the observation deck of her warship, her 4 violet eyes narrowed as she gazed at the blue planet below. Earth. The very name tasted bitter in her mouth. For 3 generations, her people, the Norzian Collective, had studied humans from afar. They watched as these primitive bipeds polluted their atmosphere, waged senseless wars, and exploited their own planet's resources with reckless abandon. Humans were deemed unworthy of galactic citizenship, a quarantine species too dangerous to join the interstellar community. And Vexathol hated them more than most. Primitive savages, she muttered, mandibles clicking with disgust. Her hatred was personal. Her mother had been part of the first contact team, secretly observing Earth's development. A detection error had exposed her ship, and trigger-happy Earth forces shot it down. No survivors. Now, as the newly appointed commander of diplomatic assessment, Vexathol had convinced the council to let her lead the final evaluation mission. Their conclusion would determine humanity's fate, isolation or extinction. "Commander, the human liaison has arrived," her second-in-command reported. Vexathol straightened her ceremonial armor. "Bring the human to me. Let's see what pathetic diplomat they've sent to beg for their species' survival." When the door slid open, she expected some pompous politician in an ill-fitting suit. Instead, she found herself facing a tall man with weathered hands and calm, gray eyes. "Dr. Ethan Cole, xenobiologist and Earth representative," he said with a slight bow. No fear in his voice, just respectful acknowledgement. Over the next 3 Earth weeks, Vexathol was forced to work alongside Dr. Cole, evaluating humanity's progress. She subjected him to scathing criticisms of human history, waiting for the defensive anger she expected. It never came. "Yes, we've made terrible mistakes," Ethan admitted one evening as they reviewed historical archives. "But isn't that part of growth? Look at how we're learning to repair our oceans, how our children are taught ecological stewardship now." His honesty disarmed her. No excuses, no deflection, just acknowledgement and a quiet determination to do better. During their 5th meeting, an alert blared through the ship. A critical system failure threatened the ventilation in the Norzian quarters. Without hesitation, Ethan rushed alongside the emergency team, using his smaller size to reach a damaged conduit that the bulkier Norzians couldn't access. He emerged covered in coolant fluid that left angry red welts on his exposed skin. Yet he smiled through the pain. "Your people would have suffocated. Worth a few blisters, I'd say." That night, Vexathol couldn't sleep. The image of Ethan's burned hands haunted her. He had risked his life for aliens who openly discussed his species' potential extinction. Why? The following day, she found herself watching him differently, noting the gentle way he spoke with the junior Norzian officers, his genuine curiosity about their culture, the respect with which he handled their sacred texts. 2 more weeks passed. Vexathol found herself inventing reasons to extend their meetings, asking questions about Earth music, literature, philosophy, subjects irrelevant to her mission. Ethan shared everything enthusiastically, his eyes lighting up when describing human creativity. When he brought recordings of Earth's oceans, her species had evolved from aquatic creatures, she felt something shift inside her. The sounds reminded her of home, of connection, of belonging. "Commander," Ethan said softly one evening, "you haven't called humans savages in 3 days." She hadn't realized. Her mandibles flushed blue with embarrassment. Their final assessment day arrived too quickly. The council waited for her recommendation. Was humanity ready for galactic society, or should they remain isolated, or worse? Standing before the transmission screen, notes prepared condemning humanity, Vexathol hesitated. She thought of Ethan's honesty, his courage, his capacity for growth and change. She thought of how he'd made her laugh, something no one had accomplished since her mother's death. "The assessment of Earth is complete," she began formally. "Humanity has demonstrated remarkable resilience, exceptional capacity for adaptation, and uncommon empathy. They understand their flaws and work to overcome them. I recommend." Her voice caught, full integration into the Galactic Accord, with immediate protective status. Later, as Ethan prepared to return to Earth, Vexathol approached him awkwardly. "Your world is safe," she said. "I will be stationed on Earth as ambassador for 5 of your years." His smile made her 4 hearts stutter in their rhythm. "I look forward to showing you real oceans," he said. "They're even better than the recordings." As she watched him walk away, Commander Vexathol, who had arrived ready to condemn humanity, realized something that terrified and exhilarated her in equal measure. She had fallen hopelessly in love with a human, and perhaps, with humanity itself.